Welcome to the Create and Grow Show. I'm your host, Georgi Todorov, and today we have an incredible guest. Nobody knows her name, but everybody knows her like Bibi the Link Builder. Hi, Bibi. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. If you hear any screaming, it's just kids in my house gaming or something.
hmm So you haven't locked them up or something?
No, no, I'm not that bad of a mother. No.
Okay, great. And let's get straight to the questions. We have a
Yeah.
lot of questions and not so much time because we were setting up everything for
Good.
15 minutes. Also, we have some questions on LinkedIn as
Yep.
well from your fans. You have a huge following and fan base.
It feels so weird when people
Yeah.
say it.
Uh, Tell me the story how you got into link building.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a weird story because I last week or 2 weeks ago I realized that my story is actually longer than it dates further back than I thought it did. So I didn't start my business until I think like 7 or 6 years ago. But before that, I was working as a social media marketer for a big trucking company,
hmm
and just before that, I was bringing my baby to a daycare. This is a bit of a trigger warning about abuse. So I was bringing him to a daycare, and it was in the Netherlands. It's very normal to bring your kid to daycare so you can work full time and all that stuff, right? So I brought him there because we finally had a spot, and then I was there, I felt like I don't like it here. So I decided not to leave him there and just go home and figure out a different solution. So then I started working from home. But later that year, I found out, or a big scandal broke loose, that the guy who was working in a daycare actually abused over 80 of the kids there.
All of them,
Well,
basically.
over 80, yeah. And he was part of a pedophile porn network. And the investigation started in the US because some photos showed up there. And then it led all the way back to this guy. Um, and he was also called the Monster of Riga because he was from Latvia and stuff. You can look it all on Wikipedia. But anyway, so it was my instinct that told me I don't want to leave my kid here, and that's why I
Yeah.
started. Yeah, that's why I negotiated with my employer to work from home, basically. And I also started looking for how to make money online because that would give me the freedom to be a mom and have a business, and make money at the same time. Um, then I found affiliate sites, that kind of stuff, through authority hackers, and I think it was Pat Flynn from Smart
Yeah.
Passive Income. I rolled into that, and I started affiliate sites. I knew how to get traffic, but I didn't think too much about the monetization. So I had a site that got a lot of traffic, but I didn't know how to make money with it. And I was part of a mastermind, like seven friends or something, and they all had affiliate sites, and they were more successful with it than I was. And then they asked me to do their links for them, to do link building,
hmm
and that's they were paying me for it, and actually pretty good. Uh, and I had my first clients basically before I knew I wanted to start a link building agency.
Bibi, I
Yeah,
want to ask you, did you meet the monster of Riga?
no, he was locked up. So
You just felt the energy when you entered
yeah.
the nursery, the
Oh,
building, and you felt it.
yes, yeah. So when I got there, I didn't meet him. I didn't see him. But the funny thing is that I was telling this story a couple of days ago to a mom of a kid of school, and she said that she also went there and felt the same, and she decided to bring her kid to a different daycare that was further away from her house. So I guess there was some kind of thing, if you're open to it, to feel it right in your gut or something, that this isn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
the
I
first
always.
takeaway of this episode is to trust your instincts,
Yes.
especially for mommies.
Yes. No, for everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
should be in touch with their instinct. I mean, not if your instinct tells you to kill someone, definitely not. But
Yeah.
but for
Probably this is not your instinct, but Jesus is speaking to you or God.
I'm an atheist, so
Yeah.
but yeah, but trust your guts and in your life choices.
What are you doing now? Do you have an agency?
Yeah, so I have a link building agency, and we cater to a lot of clients all over the world, mainly in the English language. Yeah, and that's it.
What niches do you cover, or all of them?
We do all of them, but we don't do gambling or stuff. I don't know,
Yeah, the
things like
shady
that.
niches.
Well, I wouldn't say it was shady, but it's just not something that I feel comfortable with, I guess.
Yeah,
Gambling is highly addictive, so that's not. I don't want to do that.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
absolutely agree with you. And there
yeah,
is money in other niches, so yeah, we can work on the other niches and make money from them.
yeah, yeah. And my motivation never was the money. It was always the that I was able to stay at home and to have a home life, a home like a home work balance. When everybody started working remote because of the pandemic, it was normal for me because I was already
Hmm.
doing it. So yeah.
And how important do you think are backlinks nowadays in the AI age?
Yeah, so I don't know about the future because I think search is gonna change a lot,
Hmm.
but I'm really bad at predicting the future. I think it will go at one point it will go slower than we expect. It's not like you need to panic and change everything you're doing. But at the other end, you do have to be alert because things might suddenly take us some kind of growth spurt and things change a lot. So um, I don't know. I think backlinks will disappear at some point in the future. To be honest, because the whole way that people use search will change, right? But at the same time, it will be much harder to build authentic backlinks. So it will become more important in that sense, just because it's harder. It's gonna be hard to find quality backlinks.
Yeah, it makes sense. But someone from Google recently said that backlinks are no more in top three of ranking factors,
Yeah.
which I don't buy it. I don't believe it because now content is definitely easier to produce, especially this low bar content, mediocre content,
Mhm.
average. Let's call it average. And everybody can pump up a lot of articles, a lot of content, and links are what makes the difference between websites nowadays.
Yeah, and as long as the internet is based on a spider web like structure,
Yeah,
links is everything that connects everything to everything. So
absolutely.
yeah, it's basically like when you have a skeleton, your body, and you would take all the ligaments out, you wouldn't be able to walk. So the links are all the connective tissue. Um, but at the same time, things that Google say, it's more about the message that they want to send out than what they're actually doing. So Google wants to send a message out to discourage people from focusing on
Of
backlinks too much.
course,
Yeah.
buy Google AdWords ads.
Yes, exactly. They want
Don't buy
money.
backlinks. Don't pay those link building agencies.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Google is a moral authority in any form.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
yeah, but at the same time, you just need to keep your eyes open for what's happening around you. If you're only banking on backlinks, that might not be the best way to go.
Yeah, SEO is definitely evolving. As we
Yeah.
can see now, you should have a very strong brand and you should have different channels of traffic because we can see that we are getting less and less traffic from search engines, and this is something that will continue in the future. We'll be getting less and less traffic, so we should have a podcast, a YouTube channel, TikTok, Facebook, a community, subreddit, everything. And we shouldn't rely so much on the search engine traffic, but all those other channels, they're affecting the search engine traffic positively because Google see that we are receiving traffic from other places and that we're a real brand and we have branded searches. So it pays us well after that.
I'm not sure. Your audio seems to be breaking up a little bit. Not sure if
Really?
you. Yeah,
I guess
but I'm
that
not.
it will get better after the edit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe I touched my cable. Maybe that's the reason.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
good now?
Can you say something else?
Hi, Bibi. How was your day? Did you go to the gym?
It's clipping a little, not clipping. It's going. It's doing that metallic thing, but maybe it's only on my end. So we can also just continue and see what's happening, right?
Yeah, let's continue. Let's hope everything is fine. If not, we'll blame. We don't have anyone to blame. Yeah. Let's continue. Tell me about what is your process of building backlinks? What are the methods that you use in your agency?
Yeah, so I mainly use two methods just because I'm too dumb to be good in a lot of different things. One is the passive links, so coming up with linkable assets that can attract backlinks by themselves, and the other one is guest post outreach. So those are the main methods I'm using. But I want to dip into PR links because everybody's talking about them all the time.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some PR link builders, and they say that it's not actually that different from what I'm doing right now. So I should definitely try it. But I'm always intimidated by trying something new. So yeah,
So you
needed to
haven't tried digital PR yet.
no. Although some people say what I do is digital PR, but I don't think it is because I'm not.
What do you do? Tell me. In those linkable assets that you
So the
build.
linkable assets for me are more things that are the background of stories. Like
Yeah.
statistics pieces or anything like that. Or maybe a tool that somebody wants to use, but it's not an actual story with a juicy angle or something. That I haven't done that.
So can you give me a few examples of such linkable assets?
Um, yeah, so they're really boring. One example is a statistics piece on veganism,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that a lot of journalists were focusing on the number of the current vegans in a specific country. And I didn't just use that fact in the statistics piece, but a lot of other facts as well. But it seemed that that fact and then also the Gen Z angle, that those things got picked up a lot.
But do you produce unique statistics or you just collect existing statistics
Yeah, I'm lazy, so just the second version. So
and it works?
yeah, yeah,
Nowadays, in the internet, it's impossible to tell who is the original source of a statistic. So when a journalist is writing an article, what they do is to go to the search engine and look for their topic and statistic. And if you have a ranking statistic post on that topic, you have a pretty good chance of being found by this journalist, and your statistic can be picked up, and then you are linked as the source. Nobody
yeah,
knows that you are not the source.
yeah. If your domain is strong enough, so otherwise you have to, boost it up a little bit with building some active links to it, or
Hmm.
running an ad or something, so you skip to position 0, right? Um, but it's also I whenever I do a statistics piece, I still refer to the original sources. So if a journalist wants, they can link to the original source. But they're under so much pressure to produce so many pieces a day that they don't usually do that extra step.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get some pretty badass backlinks from the top tier media websites like
Yeah,
Forbes, BBC, New York Times, LA
yeah.
Times.
And one of the best things about it is also that so when another company releases an actual real press release, like not one of those press release distribution services, but
Yeah.
a real press release. Um, Often in those press releases, they also use numbers, and then
Hmm.
they also link back to the sources. So I've had a couple of times where the company, the client I was representing, they basically not hijacked, but they were what do you call when you go in a plane, but you're a stowaway? When you're on a boat or a plane and you didn't buy a ticket, but you're kind of hiding.
Never happened to me, honestly,
Oh no,
but
no, nobody. Yeah, so it's a stowaway. That's the word. No, piggyback. That's the right.
piggyback. Yeah, yeah,
I would
exactly. Yeah.
more call it piggyback. So you piggyback on the press release of somebody else because they happen to use a statistic that you had in your article.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's
smart. Yeah.
really well. Yeah, I didn't intend it that way. It just happened. So that's great.
But can you intend actually? Can you piggyback on someone's press release like that intentionally? and
Probably.
input your
I've
statistic.
never systemized it that way, or
But
I should
how?
I
Let's
should
think
do it
now. Let's think how we can do that.
now.
Maybe
I think
we
if
can.
you so let's say if you know something is going to break out, you know which company is going to be fighting which other company, like Elon Musk. He what did he do? He
He's
sued.
going to fight Zuckerberg anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. No. He just sued OpenAI.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. So if I don't know, maybe AI would do another press release or something, or Claude just released the AI the third AI tool.
Yeah.
They just got released, so maybe they're doing a press. You know that they're going to do a press release around their four. So they did version 3, and now they're going to probably do version 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe you should publish something around how many people are using AI or something to do their work.
So
I don't
you
know.
are creating the press release article on this bigger general topic, OpenAI, that everybody is interested in it, and you just sneak your statistic somewhere in the fifth paragraph. You just
No, that's
mention,
not at all what piggybacking. What I meant with piggyback.
okay, what do you mean?
Um, so, so the for instance, with the veganism thing, right? At some point, Lush did a press release that they were leaving social media. Lush is a big soap brand,
Mm-hmm.
and some of their soaps are vegan. So in the press release, they linked back to the clients around veganism. So that was basically, it wasn't a piggyback. It was just a happy accident. But it happens a couple of times where another company did a press release and then they included a statistic and then they linked back to the statistics page. But I don't know how you would do that intentionally.
Well, you can produce a press release about such a big brand, I guess, and you can distribute it and send it to different journalists.
You would
And
do a press release about a different brand you're not representing? I think that would be very dangerous.
it could be a little bit weird, but some of them could pick it up, I guess. It
Yeah, I
might
don't
be
know if
not
I
a
would do
press
that.
release. Maybe not a press release is not a good idea, but it might be just a newsworthy, interesting story of something around a big brand. It will be easier to pick up by journalists.
Yeah, you could do that, but I would be very careful because you could get slapped with a defamation.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can get sued, I
yeah,
guess.
I don't
Lawsuit.
know. You got to be very careful. But there are a lot of there are a lot of different ways you.
Use a fake persona, guys, if you do that.
Well, they might be able to trace it, but I don't know. I think it could get real complicated real fast. But
Yeah,
maybe
but
I'm
it's interesting to think about such creative
yeah,
ways.
it is.
Maybe the cleanest option is to make a partnership with another company and just get your statistic within their press release when they submit it and when they release it to journalists. So you can get some backlinks if it gets picked up.
Yeah, maybe. I
And
don't
tell
know.
me about the guest posts. What are
Yeah.
your criteria when you are finding websites for guest posting?
Yeah, so of course it also depends on the target page or the client, because that can make a little bit of a difference. But mainly I always have my team do checks in two phases. One check is before outreach and one check is after a reply comes back. So the first check is basically an eyeball check. It does go through a little bit of a metrics filter as well, just to weed out a lot of the sites that we find. And the eyeball check is something that, yeah, you just look at a site and think, is this a spammy site? Is it authentic? Are they an obvious link seller? Stuff like that. And then when a reply comes back, that's when you dive deeper into a site and you look at their outbound links, their traffic flow, are there weird peaks or weird dips, things like that.
Because Bibi, I listened to your interview that you gave to the authority hackers 2 years ago, and you mentioned that you built links only from real businesses, not from content websites. Do you still do
Uh,
that, and why?
I don't think I said that. Like I only build links from real businesses.
Maybe mostly.
Yeah, but I do think that a content only site does give you a reason to look a little bit deeper into it, because the only way they can make money is with their content. So they're not making money with products and services. So they're probably going to ask for money for a link because they're already making money with their content, right? So I don't think all content only sites are bad. It's just that if you're looking to get unpaid links, it might be good to reach out to real businesses because they're not making money with their content. They're making money with a real product and service. So if you can pitch something to them that helps them connect with their audience, or give them something valuable, or help sell their product, uh, that
That makes
then they
sense.
might
Yeah.
then it might not ask you for a link fee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, I have noticed that those real businesses, like SaaS businesses, for example, they are not so badly affected by the most recent Google updates.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well. They might be um, more safe in that way.
Yeah, one of the reasons for that, I guess, is that they're real brands and they have a lot of direct traffic, and they have some customers that don't type their website in the browser, but they go to Google and they search for the brand name.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, the older generations are doing that. This is how they use internet. And this is a very strong signal for Google to tell that this is a real brand and to recognize it as a brand and not to punish it on the next update.
Yeah, I think also the word real that you used is a really good one. Not just for brands, but also for sites in general. Does the site seem authentic? And that's really hard to measure, but it's something you do kind of feel when you look at a site, right? Is it an
Yeah,
authentic site? Um, but it's really, it's not something you know right away. Something you learn after seeing thousands of websites.
yeah. Bibi, do you think that the relevancy of the website is overrated when choosing a website for link building? Because everybody is looking for relevance.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Um,
that?
I think it's a really hard question for me because so so link building has become harder, right? Because everybody's paying for backlinks and sites are used to asking for money. So it's really hard to find sites where you don't have to pay for the backlinks. It means that sometimes you have to be a little bit more creative in finding those opportunities, and then you have to stretch the relevancy a little bit. So instead of looking for a site that ranks on a keyword that you're targeting or something, you have to think in terms of audience. So which site has the same audience as you have? But that might mean that in keyword terms, they're not the most relevant sites. And yeah, so then a client might say, "Oh, this site is really not relevant for me." But then I say, "Well, it's a site about sustainability. You're a gardening furniture client. In my eyes, you're sharing the same audience, so it's relevant."
Yeah,
But
just
yeah,
educate the
yeah,
client and explain to him, her, hey, listen, do you want me to buy you 10 links from those gardening PBNs, or you want links from legit websites in neighboring niches? Because let's
yeah,
be honest, uh, there are no real competitors, because the closest relevancy is from your competitors. They are not going to link to your site. They are not idiots. They are not going to give those links to you. So you
yeah.
have to accept it and seek relevancy on a page level, not on a domain level. So
Yes,
if you publish an article in some website about neighboring topic, but the article is very close to your topic, you get this page relevancy, which I think is the most important, not the
yeah. I,
domain
I
itself.
completely, I completely agree. And also, there's a difference between a generic site and a random site. So sometimes you can get a link from a lifestyle site, let's say to gardening, right? And you think, okay, it's not super relevant because the site isn't focused on gardening or something like that. It's more lifestyle, but it's not a random site. It still has a sort of theme going through it. A random site would be a site that talks about dildos and then about accountancy. That's a random site. And I don't think that's where you want to get your link, except if it's a really, really strong domain, like Forbes.
Yeah.
Because Forbes is
You
very,
know, I will not be surprised if I see a post on Forbes about 10 best
yes.
sex toys or something
We should
because
do we should do a game where we throw keywords at each other and let's see if Forbes and we bet if Forbes wrote about it or not.
yeah, they wrote about many topics and they rank, but this is one of the wrong things I see in today's search engine, that you can search for something about gardening and see Forbes on the first positions. This is just ridiculous. I would understand if they rank for something like office supplies, chairs, office chairs, uh, but other topics that are completely not relevant to them is just too much.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. That said though, if you have a let's say you have a very generic site and they do have these pillars around topics and they use real expert writers or something, that could work, then maybe people won't have a problem with it, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Bibi, how many people do you have in your agency right now? How many people work for you? Are they freelancers or full time?
Yeah, I have 21 people now. Yeah, 21. And the most of them are from the Philippines, so they're freelancers,
Hmm.
but they feel like employees. Uh, yeah, and then I have a business partner in Florida, and my sister lives in Spain, and then there's Cindy, and she's in Trinidad.
Great. And how do you hire and manage your link builders? Do you have a
Yeah,
system?
so I used to hire from online jobs, .ph, and that worked pretty well. But then at some point, people just recommended their friends and family to me, or people reached out to me themselves that they wanted to work for me. So it became more like that. But now I also decided that, so I had 30 people and it was a lot. And I realized I don't want to be this big because like I told you, my motivation was always to have a work-life balance, right?
Hmm.
Um, so right now I'm not really hiring people because I don't want to grow into a bigger agency.
That's interesting, actually. You know, yesterday I had an episode with Mario Peshev, and he also runs an agency business. He has clients for WordPress and also for link building, for SEO. And he shared with me that in the last years after COVID, there is a significant drop in client business because big
Mm.
companies, big corporations are laying people off, like Google, Meta. They are firing a lot of people, and this could be felt also on the agency level. So, what is your situation? Do you lose any clients right now?
Yeah, so in the pandemic it was really insane. Like so many leads. My agency blew up. And then last year I had some problems with some team members and it was really hard. And I think I instead of letting them go, I kept them on and I tried to fix it for 6 months or 8 months, I don't know. And that was a huge issue that caused a lot of problems for the business. So I also lost a lot of money because of that. And then in the summer of last year, I actually, for the first time in my business, I was looking for new projects because I needed new projects. But it was the summer and I didn't get as many leads as I normally get. I get I think like 30 leads a month or something. But then suddenly it sort of dried up and I was panicking because I thought, oh, this is recession, right? Now it's happening. Um, so I was scrambling to get more projects in and it worked. And now I'm getting I don't know if it's like 30 leads or something, but I'm still getting more leads again. So I'm not feeling that recession part
Hmm.
anymore that much.
I think that you are a popular persona in our industry. You speak at
Maybe.
conferences. This also helps a lot.
I think so too, and I've always been spoiled, like I told you before, I had clients before I knew I wanted a business. But what I did realize was that I can't have the agency be my only source of income because of things might be going down or up or
Absolutely.
whatever. So it made me very nervous, and then I thought I have to get some other sources of income.
What are the
So
other sources of income that Bibi the Link Builder has established?
not established yet, but I'm working on a course, so that's something for email
Okay.
outreach and link building. And but I also got back into affiliate sites, so how I started, right? And that's still very early stages, and it's really hard for me to find the focus to actually work on that. But you did it. You
I
got
did
help.
it, and I
Yeah.
can tell you the recipe. In your
Yes.
case, so in your situation, you are pumping up a lot of money from your agency, and you don't have a lot of time and
Mm-hmm.
energy to spend on your affiliate sites. Keep doing what you are doing, keep making money, and invest some of those money in the affiliate sites and hire someone to work on them.
Yeah, I could do that, except I lost a lot of money when I had the problems with the team, so I don't have a lot of money to invest in affiliate sites. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Bibi, tell me,
Yeah,
do you do link exchange?
yeah, that's another good question. So, I very rarely do because people that I think link exchanges are really awesome, and anybody who could make that work is a genius. I've tried it a couple of times, but the problem is that people that do a lot of link exchanges, they've got such a good system for it that they're so used to doing it really really fast, right?
Yeah.
And what they also often do, I don't think all of them do that, but sometimes they combine a lot of link partners into one article. Um, and I can't really do that for my clients because it's gonna look weird for them, you know? So yeah, I've tried it, but every time I had a link partner, they expected me to get that link live within a week or something, and I couldn't do that. So it frustrated me, it frustrated them. So I kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, I understand. I have a similar experience with such partners that abuse the articles. One of them tried to put 6 links in a guest post for one of my websites, for my main website, and he put some ridiculous links like credit cards for kids, keyword exact match keyword,
Oh my
um,
God.
cheap flights, some super irrelevant backlinks. And when I
Yeah.
said we are not accepting this post, they just burned the relationship that was in the
Yeah, and
beginning.
that's the other side of it, that they do things that you can't explain to your clients. They'll be like, "Why is this in that post?" So yeah, it really didn't work. But I do know that some people are very successful at it and they do find good opportunities. But I think those people really focus on one niche, so only SaaS, right? And then it's kind
Hmm.
of easy to refer to a lot of people in one post.
Bibi, tell me, how did you get into so many conferences as a speaker? What
Oh,
is your recipe for that?
okay. So, okay, I'm gonna try and make this story short. Um, so I have a lot of people working for me from the Philippines, and I realized that I cannot give them much more than I'm already giving them. I can give them raises, I can give them, I can promote them to team lead or something like that, but I can't give them that much more progress. So then I thought, what if I start a coaching group internally and just have them work on their dreams, at work. So what we now have is every week we have an hour of coaching, and then we all share our dreams, and then we say what we're working on and all this stuff. And that has been amazing. I can give you examples of how that worked out, but I'm gonna skip that because that's too long of a story. But one of my dreams was traveling more because I was just basically just sitting at home behind my laptop. And Elida Solis had been basically spamming me for a year saying, you need to speak at conferences. We want to hear from you. And she was sending me stuff, speak here, speak here, speak here. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to go on a stage and speak for people. But then it clicked in my brain that if I speak at conferences, it's actually an excuse to travel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it was Brighton or something, the conference I pitched at first. So I pitched there and then I pitched to a couple of others and then people started asking me for it. And I did my first talk and I was really nervous, but it went really well. And then it all just went from there. And I've only done 4, I think, in total. Yeah, but it
Yeah, I
feels
just
like a lot.
saw you in the biggest world conferences, so I assume that
Yeah,
you are everywhere.
that's the thing. I went from no conferences to all the dream list where you kind of want to talk. So that's been really great.
I think it's an also important factor that you are you have a very special aura around you. You know,
Ah, thank you.
yeah, you're very charismatic, which makes and funny, and it makes people to invite you because you make the party basically. You
Ah,
create party wherever you go.
thank you. Yeah, I try, I guess. I mean, I think I have some teaching experience, so I think that helps. I was in bands, singing, and
Ah, yeah.
I also taught some stunt fighting workshops. So I think that helped as well, having that stage experience. And yeah.
Let's go to our LinkedIn post where I asked, "What should I ask you?" And we have some questions from your fans.
Ooh, yeah. Bring it
Veselin
on.
Mladenov, content and SEO strategist, asks, "Is the URL rating something that she consider?" And
So
I
yeah,
asked him, "Do you mean you are in Hrefs? Maybe clients are more concerned with that. I will ask her tomorrow." And he says, "Yes. Do they have requirements related to UR?"
I gotta be honest. I have no idea what UR is. Do you know?
Hrefs URL rating.
I
You
never
know,
look.
you have domain rating and you have
Yeah,
URL rating on Hrefs.
I never look at that honestly, and I've never had a client ask about it. So
I guess that he had this experience with some client
oh,
that he was doing niche edits for this client, and this client
right.
said, "Okay, I want niche edits only from websites pages with URL rating above 30, above 40."
I imagine it's similar to DR, so it probably has to do with the backlinks to the page,
Yeah,
something like that.
but I don't think we should allow clients to want something like that because URL rating is something that grows with time, so it really needs time to increase.
Right, but if it's niche edits, then maybe it does count. I have no idea, but yeah, not something I look at.
The next question, actually, it's not a question. Dimitar Karamarinov says Bibi the Link Builder. Okay, that's not a question. The next one, can't wait to watch the question. I would like to ask, how does, oh, that's a long one.
Ooh,
How does the link building process differ for clients in highly competitive niches versus niche markets? Are there unique strategies employed for different industries or market conditions? How does Bibi? Oh, okay, this is another question from Alexander Goshev, outreach specialist at NetPeak, Bulgaria. So the first part of the question.
how it differs for highly competitive niches in
Versus
comparison.
niche markets.
Yeah. I think if you use a definition highly competitive, as in there are a lot of other link builders in the area, it does differ because you have to look for those opportunities that they are not looking at to get other links, right? And again, it has to do with you call it like the neighboring niches, and the relevancy jumps and come up with ways that they're not thinking. So yeah, you have to be a little bit more creative.
Unless it's something like gambling where you just must have deep pockets and pay for links.
Yeah, yes. But then even, you would only win in those cases if you had more money than your competitor. So to beat your competitor that has the same amount of money, you probably have to think of something that they're not thinking of. But I don't know because I haven't done gambling.
Yeah, we have a couple of more questions by the same person, Alexander.
Yeah.
How does BibiBuzz measure the success of its link building campaigns beyond the number of links acquired? Are there specific KPIs like improvements in SERP ranking, organic traffic growth, or increased domain authority that they track?
Yeah, so for all my clients, the client tracks those. I don't track those. I mean, of course, I'll throw in stuff in Ahrefs or something, or I have access to the Google Analytics, and sometimes I'll look at that. But it's usually the client that really looks at the improvement.
I see.
Yeah.
What is the future of link building? Another question by Alexander. What is the future of link building? What will be the number one type of link building that outreach specialists will be doing in the next 5 years?
Um, I'm really bad at predicting the future. So I have no idea. I mean, I do see that everybody's talking about PR right now, so that's
Mhm.
probably gonna be the 2024 thing that people look at. But what the future is for link building, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Evelina Milenova, exciting! Exclamation mark. I want to ask Bibi if she tracks results for clients and what she looks at. So you already answered this
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So I don't track it.
Yeah. The next one, the last one actually, is Kreftimova online marketing trainer, marketing strategist, funnels, paid ads, SEO. Awesome. How does she find new good places to get a link from? Are there any secret techniques?
Mm. Um, yeah. So there are a couple of things. Like I mentioned, there are the linkable assets and there's the guest posts, right? With the linkable assets, you really don't know where the passive links are gonna come from. So you just come up with a lot of ideas. And one thing that I do like to use is the Content Explorer of Ahrefs. And instead of searching for a specific topic, I'll search for words that are don't have to do with a specific topic. So, for instance, how many, right? And then I filter on the amount of links that are pointing to it or traffic or something like that. So that's how I come up with the linkable assets. The other side, the guest posts, one thing that I really like to do is use AI if I'm stuck, right? So I'll let's say that you're. Do you have a hobby, Georgie? I
Yeah,
think I asked
I
you that
like
before.
to go in the forest, hiking,
Oh,
working out,
right. So
traveling.
let's say you're hiking, right?
Yeah,
Then I'll ask AI, what are tangential topics or satellite topics or topics that have to do with hiking, but in a couple of relevancy hubs. So let's say you have hiking, and I'll ask AI about a tangential topic, and they say stargazing. So when you go hiking at night, you might want to look at the stars. So maybe you'll have stargazing apps. Um, then I'm going to reach out to stargazing app companies and pitch something to them. And that's how you find other link opportunities. So you think about your audience and you think about topics that are around your audience. And then you think about the companies that talk about those topics or are related to those topics, but are not competing with you. And those turn out as those can result in new prospect lists that you haven't thought of before. So that's one of the ways that I do that.
that's very smart.
Thank you.
So that's one of the SEO link building hacks that Bibi shared with us. I'm going to create different micro episodes of this and this will be one of them. Bibi,
Nice.
tell me, um, is there anything that I should have asked you and I didn't?
Um, mm, hmm. No, you asked a lot of good questions actually. So
Thank you, Bibi. I did my best. I
yeah,
prepared very well
that's
for our
so-
episode. One last question, Bibi. Is your favorite food still raw fish?
yes, herring, raw
Hearing,
herring.
okay. I just listened to your episode. It was very short. I think you were at a conference where this
Yeah.
guy asked you those all those
Oh,
questions, those random questions.
J- Jitindra Kundar or something, right?
I don't know his
I
name.
think it was Jitina Kundar. Yeah, really nice guy. Really nice glasses too.
Yeah. Okay, Bibi, thanks so much. Please
Yeah,
tell where our listeners can learn more about you, your services, where they can follow you and consume your content.
cool. So you can go to bbuzz.com. I have a really ugly site, so if you have any feedback for it, just send it to me. Um, I want to start blogging there as well, and I also want to go on YouTube and do some email teardowns, but I haven't started that yet. So you can find me on bbuzz.com, or you can go to LinkedIn and look for Bibi the Link Builder or Bibi Raven. I left Twitter, so you can't find me there, and Facebook is all about periods, so I wouldn't go there either.
Bibi Raven, yeah, I remember your real name now.
Yes, that's my real
I
name.
had forgotten it, but yeah, we're
Not
friends on
many people
Facebook.
know it.
Okay, Bibi, I will leave those links in the show notes so people can find you easier and you'll get
Yeah,
some extra backlinks from different distribution platforms.
yeah, give
Thank
me all the
you.
backlinks.
Yeah, of course, backlinks are the best. Thank you so much for your time today. And after a couple of months, 1 year, we can make another episode.
Yeah, it would be great. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye.